Now, there are 4 very important qualities that the Buddha advised everyone to cultivate. The first one is faith, saddha. Faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. The second one is sila, moral conduct. To conduct ourselves according to the precepts. The third one is generosity, to practice generosity, not to be selfish, but to be open-handed, to like to give, especially to those in need of help. And the fourth quality is wisdom. Wisdom. And wisdom is obtained firstly from studying the words of the Buddha. You listen to the words of a wise man, you also become wise. You listen and believe the words of a foolish man, you also become foolish. So, in one of the suttas, the Buddha said, our parents have been extremely helpful to us. And because of that, the Buddha said it's very difficult to repay our parents' kindness. Even if you were to carry your mother on one shoulder and your father on the other shoulder for 100 years, looking after them every day, carrying them on your shoulders and bathing them, feeding them, massaging them, etc. Still, the Buddha said, you would not be able to repay your parents' kindness. But if you teach them to acquire these 4 qualities, faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, by introducing them to the teachings of the Buddha so that they have faith, and then teaching them to have sila, to have moral conduct, so that if they did not keep the precepts before, you teach them to keep the precepts and to be happy to keep the precepts, especially the 5 precepts. And the third thing is generosity. If they were not generous before, you teach them to be generous, to be liberal, to be open-handed, to like to help others. That's the third way. The fourth way, if they did not have wisdom, you teach them to have wisdom by either teaching them the discourses of the Buddha or giving them books on the discourses of the Buddha to read, or giving them tapes, teachings on the suttas for them to listen, so that they acquire wisdom, or teaching them to meditate so that they acquire wisdom. Then the Buddha said, you would have repaid your parents' kindness. In fact, you have repaid more than your parents' kindness. Why? Because if you teach your parents these 4 things, to have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, to keep the precepts, to be generous, and to have wisdom, at the least, they would not be reborn into the woeful planes. They would either come back as a human being or go to the Deva realm. Or if they make better progress, then they might even become an Arya. For example, if they listen to the suttas enough, or study the suttas enough and have a good understanding of the Buddha's teachings, then they might become an Arya. Again, in another sutta, the Buddha said, there were 2 very loving persons, husband and wife, and they were so loving. In their old age, they came to see the Buddha, and they asked the Buddha how they can be reborn again. And the Buddha said, people can be reborn again if they have these 4 things in common: faith, moral conduct, generosity and wisdom. That means they have faith in say for example, in the same religion. And then moral conduct, either they keep their precepts equally well or equally badly. And then generosity, either they are equally generous or they are equally selfish. And wisdom, either they are equally wise or equally foolish. Then if they have these 4 things in common, then the chances are that they will be reborn in the same place. So if those that you love, your parents, your brothers and sisters, if you want them to be reborn in the same happy place with you, then teach them to have these 4 things. To have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, to keep the precepts like you, to be generous, and to have wisdom.